PRV crossover. A lot of people always ask them, a crossover better than the DSP, which was more user friendly. With all the questions in the comments that have been flowing around lately with the videos of the PRV crossover that I use for my stunt wall, use for my door panels, I'm about to show you how user friendly they are with dialing them in and getting them to the exact same adjustment that you need to get your speakers sounding good, and be testing all the outputs of the crossovers so you can hear how each setting sounds. If you ask me, the PRV crossover with awesome products to get, and this is why you need to get them, man. Let's get it. Before we get started, definitely hit that like button because, man, look at this badass stunt wall. Sadly, it's gonna go away soon, but if we get this video up to 200 likes, I will go out and purchase a PRV DSP. We will put it inside this truck and we will tune it, and I will do a badass review and how to adjust it and everything video for you guys to watch so we can compare them both side by side. But for today, it is crossover talk, man. We are gonna talk about this PRV 3.5 PRV crossover. This one has your typical front in, sub out, mid out, high out, and all these different dial in switch settings. This crossover is on a 1800.1 teraamps and a DS 250.2 teraamps for the tweeters and the tins inside the cab of my truck. All that is in my two front doors, guys. I love a strong deep mid bass, so you know, with that crossover, the 3.5, it is definitely getting me to the right spot. But we're gonna hear the settings on that are for that crossover that inside the cab. We're gonna actually physically hear it in the stunt wall so we can stand back there and really hear that guy out. All the speakers, tweeters, and horns that are back here, guys, that is all being adjusted and matched by the PRV 4.6 Pro crossover. As the front end, sub in, mid low in, sub out, mid low out, mid high out, and high out. Along it has the dial knobs right here to where it has low pass, high pass, on and off switch, and levels for all the settings. You notice here the high out for the 4.6 and the high out on the 3.5, it is switch bass here with just a level up, versus over here it is just a dial knob. Although the knob and the switch is all for frequency adjustments, but we are going to see which one sounds better when it's actually playing in real time with music. This is going to be a very big tip for you guys. I have my mid high out that is actually disconnected at the moment because I did some testing the other day, and I'm just going to say this right off the bat. That mid low out, guys, that's where it's at. That's where, man, you want your speakers talking, whether if it's mid bass or mid range, man, that is definitely the channel that you want to use. When we redo our stunt wall, guys, I am definitely just going to only use the mid low out, just because I feel that we're losing loudness with the mid high out. Yes, it does probably play at a higher frequency, but man, that mid low out, guys, that makes them speakers talk. If you come over to the 3.5 that is running inside my doors, the mid out is just mid out. There's no mid, high, low, or nothing, so it's just mid. So we are going to test that guy out and see what it does, and we are going to see how that sounds back here with the stunt wall through all those outputs. Now real quick, guys, I'm going to just go ahead and put it out there like this. Your boy is definitely not discrediting the DSP one bit whatsoever, and I'm pretty dead on sure, because I have physically heard builds with the DSPs in them and they sound like insanely loud and really good. But let's just be realistic, guys. Those are being installed by people that are like, know what they're doing in the car audio world, you know, whether they're adjusting it, tuning it, they know what's up. But for the average person that's doing a sound system, the driveway of their house, the PRV crossovers are definitely the most user-friendly product that they make and that exists. It would probably take you days to adjust and fine-tune the DSP versus the crossover. man, you just sit back, let some music play, move the knobs a bit, man, get that thing sounding to what you really want it to sound like, and man, that thing is done and set and dial, and you don't even have to mess with it. You can even take a picture of it, and if for some reason the knobs get turned, man, you can just refer to your picture and your settings will go back to how you had them. So probably in the next couple weeks, I am going to literally gut all this out, guys, and we are going a whole different route with the stunt wall. Man, like I said in the other video, I think this is probably almost like 6,000, 6,500 watts of stunt wall. And the new stunt wall that we're going to build, man, we're going to be up there with probably like 25,000 watts, maybe 30,000 watts, who knows. But man, we're going to make something insanely loud, and man, we're going to start playing in the game with the stunt wall stuff. I know we'll have some people in the comments talking about you only need a DSP, you only need the crossover, you don't need the EQs, you don't need none of that stuff. But listen, guys, stunt walls are not built or installed intended to be sound quality installs. Not one bit, man. We're out here to jam and be loud, guys. Even if you have to distort to get to a certain point to beat your competitor, man, so be it. When you're in the heat of battle, stunt wall wars or whatever, I see people tend to mess with their DSPs or their crossovers. And another big advantage, if you are adjusting the crossovers in the line of battle, if you're out there flexing with the stunt wall stuff, it's so easy just to come back and move a few knobs and adjust it really good versus tapping the buttons on the DSP, hitting the wrong button, and your whole tune is out of whack, and now you look like a clown in front of everybody and your truck's not even sounding loud, and you just lost a full stunt wall battle. But you want a nice tune, you want it to sound nice and crispy. I like the nice sound and crispy. That's why we're gonna add a lot of crazy power to it, just so we have the power to back it up and overpower, man, those crazy horns and everything. But it all starts off with either that DSP or the crossover. Just like there's people that do the race car world, man. You have the LS motor platform, then you have the Coyote platform. LS is what everybody uses, so we'll call that the DSP, man. Your boy's running that Coyote in here, and if you really know racing, guys, that Coyote motor is like smoking stuff nowadays. And I'm gonna prove to everybody that crossovers is, I'm not gonna say it's the best way to go, but man, you just can't rule them out, man. Them things are vicious, and if they're adjusted right, guys, they're a monster. And once we get done with our new stunt wall with all the crossovers and everything, this thing, I dare someone. I dare someone. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and test these speakers out. Let me move a couple RCAs around, guys, and man, we're gonna give these PRV crossovers a good little testing, and you guys are gonna listen and hear all the different settings. And then even myself, this is like a good test and tune for me to see what route, you know, and what outputs I want to use for the crossovers, and how many I actually have to buy for this next stunt wall. And it's a good learning lesson for all of us. So everything seems to be connected. We're gonna go ahead and fire this guy up and see how it sounds with that mid out just from the 3.5 PRV crossover. But we're just gonna play it very, very low, see how it sounds. But we can most definitely come inside here and adjust it real quick, which we will be doing right now, just to see how it sounds with the different settings. So it does sound a bit punchy and a little bit muffled. It doesn't have like that strong, rich mid bass sound, but it does sound good. Okay, so now we are gonna put it out to 250 hertz on the high pass, and then we are gonna do 2 kilohertz on the low pass. So with 250 hertz, guys, we won't get that much like mid bass punchy sound. It'll just really be playing more like a higher pitch, to where words are noticeable, but not like that, man. The words really get noticeable when you drop that frequency down to like maybe like 175, 150, maybe 100 hertz, but then you're pushing them speakers to the max. Okay, so let's hear what it sounds like with 250 hertz. Let's get it. 50 hertz sounded good, but man, we want that mid bass out that thing, guys. We want that thing to be humping a little bit. So now let's drop down the high pass to flat, or no, we'll just go ahead and put it, what's that, 80 hertz, and then we'll put the low pass at flat just to see if we can get a little bit more talk and a little bit more boom out of it. So this is 80 hertz, guys. Let's see what it sounds like. It's a little bit more deeper. That was a little bit more deeper, but it had more of like a punch instead of deep voice. So let's actually put it down flat and let's turn the low pass up to 8 kilohertz and see what it sounds like. Man, that thing is gonna beat apart right now, guys. I think so, but hey, we won't know what it sounds like unless we test it, right? So this is just with flat on the high pass. Oh yeah, you hear it? I hear that beat. That was a little bit more deeper. It sounded way more aggressive, but with just letting the settings on the crossover stay like that, we would actually have to go back to the amp, adjust it, tweak it, and maybe adjust and tweak it at the EQ, and I think we would get one good deep sounding mid bass out of the stunt wall, guys. So I pretty much got the horn and the tweeters tied in together to play off just one amp. And we are going to go ahead and try the high out from the 3.5 crossover. We're going to start off with the highest setting on the high out, which is 8 kilohertz. So that's actually pretty high. And we're going to hear how that sounds with the horn and the tweeters. So that one's going to pretty much just give us more of that sound. No vocal like that, man. But let's get it. You see? It gives us more of just that high frequency sound. I mean, it sounds good, but you know, in the world of trying to be loud, guys, that definitely does not cut it at all. Maybe just for super tweeters, yes, but in the horn world, definitely not. So let's definitely drop it down to the 900 hertz, and let's see what it sounds like now. Okay, we got a good, yeah. Sounds really good. That's what we're looking for, man. It sounds going to be like piercing sound. That definitely is piercing. Yeah. That's the 900 hertz is where it's at, guys. So after hearing how those 900 hertz sound with that high out with the horns and the tweeters, I feel that that high out on 900 hertz would work so much good with just horns only, guys. I'm pretty sure when words start getting played through the music, obviously I can't do that because of copyright reasons, but I feel that 900 hertz on that high out from that 3.5, guys, would definitely be the one. It would sound really good with words. So pretty much all the testing with the 3.5, it is done, guys. Let's actually move over to the old 4.6. That's the original crossover for the stunt wall, and see how that sounds, guys. I'm telling you, my go-to is that mid-low out. Man, that thing is vicious, guys. Vicious. I don't care what anybody says. Pretty much that 4.6 mid-low out is already tuned, guys, because that's what I've been running on my truck lately. And let's hear how it sounds right off the bat. That sound like that. Yeah, that mid-low out, guys, that is the one. That is the one. Okay, so now we're going from mid-low out to mid-high out. This is probably just going to give us a little bit more higher frequency, but man, I like my low pass turned up all the way, and my high pass maybe we'll do 200 hertz, just so we don't over drown it and get a lot of heavy mid bass going it, so we can get a good sounding review. Okay, so let's hear how that sounds. Let's drop down the frequency just a bit, guys. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad, but not of my likings, but maybe some of your guys' likings. But I feel that that mid high out is more intended for, I want to say, like if you got a stunt wall or speakers where you're trying to reach like the higher frequency just to like out drown somebody, definitely that is the best way to go. If we do mid range with the mid out and mid bass with the mid low out, guys, the way it's supposed to, good settings on it, good tune, man, that thing would be ridiculous. I honestly feel, even with what I got going on, if I were to add those extra crossovers that I need to really separate everything, the truck could really wake up for what we got. Like, it could be like a whole nother thing. But now my biggest thing that I have not yet to test it, which we will do right now, is we've seen that the mid high out from the 3.5 with the horns, man, that thing is doing nice talking, and we want to see if we get the same output from the high out from the 4.6. But you see that one is switches, this one just has a dial knob, so we're gonna see if we get the same response out of it real quick, man. So let me move some RCAs and we're gonna see what's good. So let's actually put it at like 420 and see how that sounds. But then with the same song, we are going to play it over to the 3.5, and you guys be the judge of which one sounds better. That's the 4.6 horns out. That was 420 hertz, so now we'll drop it down to 400 hertz. It's like a nice, strong, rich mid-range sound, but it's not piercing. If you're actually doing mid-range horns, that would be the best way to go. But even if you're doing mid-range horns on that 3.5 with a higher frequency, man, that 900 hertz is killing it. This is still with that 4.6 Prv Crossover. So now let me go over here and move over the horns back into the 3.5 mid, that high out, guys, so you can hear the difference. Same song. Oh yeah, like that 900. That is nice. That is very, very nice. Yeah. Fire, fire, fire. Doing major work, guys. So what I think for the last test that I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the horns connected on the 3.5. I'm going to actually go ahead and put maybe the HD, which is the 212s, the 210s on mid low out, and then put this MD3000 on that mid out and hear how it sounds. And man, with that combination, guys, it would probably be insane. But let's get it. The 212s, 210s connected to the Terra amp that is running mid-low out from the 4.6, and that is it for that crossover. We got the 610s that are on each side running off the MD3000 that is run off the mid-out from the 3.5 Prv Crossover, and we got the high-out running off the PPI amp going into the tweeters and the two selenium horns that are in the back. And let's see how that combination goes and sounds with what I feel are the best outputs from both of the crossovers, to see how both of them crossovers work together to make it sound good. Good though. Let's check this out, make sure everything's good. Okay, good. Now real quick, one thing that I will say, it sounds totally different from playing instrumentals versus actual music with words in it. Then we can actually get the full output from the horns. But man, sometimes I'm scared to play even copyright free music with words in it, because man, we're gonna get hit with a copyright. But I mean, you guys get what we're trying to do, man. It sounds really good. Man, I am actually pretty impressed with both crossovers. They both do pretty good stuff. My final input in both of them. Now, once again, all these outputs that we just tested out on the Prv crossovers, I'm pretty sure that all the same outputs, settings and everything are on the DSP, guys. But honestly, it would probably take you like a few hours to really sit here and like really fine tune it. But if you finally do, I'm pretty sure that DSP is going to be like dead on point. If you just have something simple and you want a good crossover, definitely something front, rear, and sub, man, the Prv 3.5 is the best way to go. But if you're trying to get a little bit advanced and make sure that certain stuff's on certain stuff, man, that 4.6 is definitely where it's at. It gives you more different settings for your likings. Not everybody likes that mid-low how I like it. Maybe some people like that mid-high out, man, so it gives you that option, all the different settings, very user-friendly. But if you're picky like me and want to really define your sound and hit that nice sweet spot for it to really sound good and be on point and compete with people, definitely the best way to go is get yourself both of them. That high out from that 3.5 is very vicious. That mid out, same thing, very vicious, combined with the low out from here. And then maybe if you have some mid-range horns, man, the high out from here is definitely the one. And maybe if you even add a couple other speakers to play a higher frequency with the mid-range, like a woofer or something like that, that is the best way to go, and you'll get the best from both worlds. But me, man, I have to get me probably another one of those guys and another one of these guys. And the new Stunt Wall, guys, is going to be insane, piercing loud. That's what I'm going for. That being said, man, turn that radio up, jam out, be careful, do not get no tickets. But man, 200 likes and we'll get that DSP and we'll put it in the truck and we'll test it out, man. But you let me know in the comments what you think, man. But your boy's sounding off. It is a very hot day here in Florida, man, and I got to do a little bit more stuff. But man, I'll catch you guys on the next one.